Hello, tribe. How are you guys doing today? Well, welcome to my channel. If you don't know who I am, my name is Ketra, and I'm an artist. And I just like to share what I like to do, and hopefully it gives you inspiration to do your own art and follow along on my little journeys of learning. I also have a small business, and I just like to make art. But anyway, I started following this really neat artist. Her name is Sasibo. Saacibo. She has a great YouTube channel if you would like to go check out her channel. She does some really cool, neat, and pretty awesome junk journal ephemera stuff. I haven't watched all of her videos yet because I just found her on YouTube. But anyway, she is sponsoring a collaboration called Creative Mojo Cards. And I watched the video on it and I was like, ooh, that sounds like fun. It's something I can do on my channel and it will challenge me in all art related things. So today I'm going to pick a card and see what the next video and art project is going to be. So I will, let's see, let's shuffle them. So anyway, I printed these off. You can go to Sasibo's Etsy shop, and it's a digital download and print them off. I just printed them off front to back on just regular cardstock that I had. So, right, I guess I'm going to pick this one. All right, let's go, guys. Ooh, numbers rule the universe. Pythagoras. What day of the month were you born? Use that number as an inspiration for your next art craft project. All right. Well, I was born on the 17th of September, 1970, if you're curious. But anyway, yeah, so let me gather some supplies and stuff and see what I can do with the number 17. And we'll get started on a new little project. Who knows? It may turn out pretty cool.
Alright, so as you can see, I can't use my desk during this project, so we decided to do this on the floor in the living room. And I went with a piece of cardboard because my thoughts were I wanted to work big and I didn't want to waste my canvas in case it didn't turn out too great. So my thoughts went like this. Let's prep the cardboard with some, what do we call this? Gesso. And get that painted on and dried. So I'm working away here on the tile floor. So, well, honestly, the paint is easy to get off the floor, but I did decide later that I needed to put some paper underneath. And here I'm starting to measure out a grid because when I was thinking about the number 17 and what numbers mean, and the quote for this project is "Numbers rule the universe" by Pythagoras, it reminded me of, I don't know if you guys have heard of the Fibonacci sequence. I had never heard of it before, but my husband, way back when we were getting to know each other, he actually introduced me to the Fibonacci sequence. And some people call it the golden ratio. And I was like, wow, that is really cool. And I, you know, researched it and read up on it and just thought it was the coolest thing ever that, as my husband says, everything is numbers and frequency with this universe. And I guess depending on what your thoughts are about how we became humans and the creation of the world, if you don't know already, then I do believe God made us all and he made the universe in perfect harmony. And so this Fibonacci sequence and the golden ratio fit very solidly with my belief in God. So I thought I would go ahead and draw out a grid and draw the Fibonacci sequence. And as you can see here, I got on my iPad and looked on a tutorial, and everything was going great. My lines looked pretty good. My puppies were not stepping on the cardboard. They were very curious as to what I was doing on the floor because mommy never sits on the floor much unless we're playing. So they were just, I have 3 puppies if you don't know already. But anyway, so here I am starting to draw the curves. and realized that I probably should use a compass because my freehand, I don't know if you guys have ever painted on cardboard or drew on cardboard. It's so different than paper and canvas and sitting on the floor. Um, yeah, I was like, okay, let me go get my compass. So you'll see here shortly. But while you're watching me draw this out, I did look up some 17 cool facts about the number 17 since I drew a number. So I'm going to go ahead and read a few if you don't mind because I thought it was pretty interesting. So, according to the research done by MIT, the number 17 is the most common randomly chosen number between 1 and 20. Huh. This isn't completely random occurrence either, as MIT has tested this theory a number of times with the same result each time. Do you guys always pick the number 17? 17 is the seventh prime number. A prime number is a number that can only be divided by both itself and the number 1. Cool. The number 17 is more than just a prime number, though. If you add the first 4 prime numbers together, their sum is 17. It's also the only prime number that is made up of 4 other consecutive prime numbers, these numbers being 2, 3, 5, and 7. In the French, Catalan, and Italian languages, 17 is the first compound number. A compound number is a number made up of 2 different sets of number. In this case, dixept, disset, and dis, discassate, all meaning 10 plus 7, respectively. In the UK, when you turn 17, you're granted a whole new level of freedom, as it's the age that you can start taking driving lessons as well as being able to drive both a van and a car. There are many newfound freedoms for those who turn 17 in the US too. Once you reach this age, you're allowed to apply for a private pilot license, rent R-rated movies, enlist in the armed forces, only with your parents' consent. By the way, my youngest enlisted in the Army at 17 and we had to sign a parental consent. And I must say it was the best thing that he ever did. Okay, so continuing on. As well as being able to rent or buy any M-rated video games. The number 17 is an incredibly common song title. Some of the most well-known artists with a song title, either 17, the number 17, or 17 spelled out, including the number in some way, include Prince, Kings of Leon, the Smashing Pumpkins, Jimmy Eats World, Stevie Nicks, and the Sex Pistols. The Beatles' hit song, I Saw Her Standing There, was originally going to be called 17. I actually like that song by the Beatles. There's a character in the hit Japanese manga and anime series called Dragon Ball Z, an android 17, a cyborg who plays the role of a villain at the end of season 3 of the TV show. The periodic table of elements is arranged into different groups, and group 17 is made up of halogens, which include 5 elements that are chemically similar. Chlorine, one of the halogens, has the atomic number of 17. The followers of Islam must perform 17 rak'ahs, or a set of prayers and movements, in each of their 5 daily times of prayer. Most people in the world would consider the number 13 to be the most unlucky number, but this isn't the case. In Italy, the number 17 is instead considered unlucky, and it goes back to the age of the Romans. In Roman numerals, 17 is the XV11, which when rearranged becomes V1X1, and in Latin, V1X1 means I have lived, which essentially means I am dead. Italia, an Italian airline, doesn't have a row 17 for this very reason, and some hotels do not have a room 17. Interesting. Okay, if you're into football or soccer, the youngest person to have ever played in a football World Cup final was the Brazilian superstar Edison Arantes do Nascimento, otherwise known as Pele. Oh, my husband loves that guy, who was 17 at the time. Yeah, he was a pretty good footballer. The youngest recipient of the highly sought-after Nobel Prize was Malala Yousafzai, who was just 17 at the time. She was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2014 for her struggles in advocating for the rights of young women and children to have fair access to all education. Interesting here. According to ancient Egyptian legends, the death of Osiris, the god of death and resurrection, happened on the 17th of a month. As with most legends that predate the, this says decent? That doesn't make sense. The decant calendar systems. It gets a little vague after this point, although it apparently happened on a day which was clear to see that the full moon was over. Number 16. It's been proven that for a solvable game of the popular number puzzle Sudoku has to be completed, it must have at least 7 different clues. I kind of like that, but me and numbers don't get along, so I can't do the very hard Sudoku ones. One of the most commonly known forms of Japanese poetry is the haiku, which imposes a strict rule on the number of lines and syllables allowed. So the first line must have 5 syllables, the second must have 7, and the last line must have 5. The total number of syllables in a haiku is 17. So there you have it. Those are some fun 17 facts about the number 17. So let me get back to here. So, honestly, guys, I should have just left it as a drawing. I don't know what possessed me, but I thought I would do an underpainting with the yellow and do black over it to have some yellow shining through. And I guess with some processes, you just have to go with it. And obviously, now that I'm done with the project and I'm doing this voiceover, I really wish I would have just left the drawing, a pencil drawing, and then did the features around it in paint. But, I decided to keep on going on and seeing what's going on here. So, how are you guys today? Hope you're well and, keeping creative and all that. So, anyway, voiceovers, yes. The reason I'm doing a voiceover is one, I'm doing this painting on the floor. Two, my camera, which I use my phone for, it was awkward. And so, yeah, I just decided to do it this way. And through some of my filming, my battery ran out. So you see lots of finished clips, but I think that's probably okay. When I added all these video clips onto my video editor, it totaled up to be an hour, and I didn't want to torture you guys with all the process. So I was, looking at my color wheel, and yellow's complementary color was violet. So I tried to mix some violet, but it ended up purple. But I went ahead to go with it anyway. So my thought process here was I didn't really like the black, so we'll do a purple, and I wanted to do a limited color palette because if I don't, which I've learned this about myself and my art, if I don't do a limited color palette, then my art or my paintings always end up muddy. So this really makes me, I think I do better with a limited color palette. But there are times I just want to go willy-nilly and use all sorts of colors. But as you see here, we've lost the drawing of my Fibonacci sequence shell spiral, and it kind of looks like a teardrop here. But I just, like I said before, just kept going with it, and you'll see how this painting progresses. And I must say it was kind of difficult. Okay, here we go. So I kind of messed up on the shell thing, so I had to look up something, and I decided to do the Nautilus shell and realized that, guys, when you paint, paintbrushes make a big difference. So I changed my paintbrush, and I feel like this turned out okay. I wouldn't say it's awesome or anything, but I seem to have recovered a little bit of what I was trying to do here. And with that little circle thing, I was trying to do more of a compass circle, half circle on the grid thing, but I realized that wasn't going to work out, and you'll see later in the video that I kind of marked that out with some paint. So all in all, the Nautilus shell here kind of saved what I started to do, and I can't remember what I was doing. Oh yeah, there's the picture, my reference there, to make sure I got the curves and Oh yeah, I don't know. I forgot. Oh, so now I'm writing Nautilus shell. Also, I wanted to point out, so my number was 17, and you'll see in the video that I do paint on the number 17. So I did 17 number 17s on my painting as well. And on the curve of the back of the shell, I did the 17 numbers of the sequence of the Fibonacci sequence. So I'm not going to go into detail and bore you guys to death about the Fibonacci sequence. You guys can look that up obviously on the internet, but basically how the numbers work is you start with 0, and then 0 plus 1 is 1, and then 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 plus 2 is 5, 5 plus 3 is 8, and so on. It's a really cool sequence. So with that sequence, you'll see later on in the video. Yeah, I don't know why I'm not showing you anything in here on this clip. Sorry about that. But anyway, yeah, I write the 17 numbered sequences here. So, and what am I doing on my iPad here? I'm not really sure what I'm doing. Apologies. Well, you can just see how I process and move along in my... Oh yeah, there's the number. So that's okay. So I had to look up the numbers because I didn't want to do the maths in my head. So you'll see here I'm writing the number sequences in Posca pen in blue, and then after doing that, you couldn't really tell, you couldn't really see it, and I realized later that I just rewrote them in the white ink Posca pen, and that didn't give me much satisfaction either, and you'll see later in the videos that I decided to use glitter because I don't know, I like glitter. I don't like getting it all over, and I know, you know, glitter gets everywhere and you have it for days and months and years in your house, but I do like glitter. I think it's fun. Okay, so what am I doing here? Probably just trying to figure out what I'm going to do next. You will see soon that I will start putting up the numbers. Maybe. All right, for sake of everybody's sanity, I am going to put some music on and not ramble so much so you can watch the rest of the process, and I will catch up with you at the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoy the process and all of that good stuff. Okay, I'll catch you in a few minutes. So we're coming to the end of the video here, and I was again trying the texture paint and trying to give some texture to the center part of the Nautilus shell, and made a mistake, so I kind of, I don't know, used my palette knife and spread out the gray to give it some sort of shadow effect. And at this point in the painting, I was like, ugh, I just ruined it. Maybe I should just start over. But nope, I just said, you know what? I spent a lot of time thinking about this and what I wanted to do. We're just going to keep going. So I was trying to fix up and do some shadows and make it look like there's some depth to the shell and it's not so flat. But yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy with it. Will I ever paint on cardboard again? No. I thought it would be cool, but it was a challenge. So I did love the fact that it was a challenge. This is something I have never done before. Honestly, this reminded me of an art school project. Because if you've been to art school, traditional art school, not digital art, you would have projects like this and you'd have to work big and they give you parameters, and it was fun to come up with the paintings based on what the teacher, you know, the specs were for the painting. And it was fun to see what everyone else did. So I'm looking forward to Sasibo's next video card to what she's going to do. And it'll be fun when she gets to the number one because I can't see what she does with the numbers. So I am going to probably frame it, or I'll probably hang it up in my other studio, but I don't know. We'll see what I do with it. So here you can see me going for the glitter part of this painting towards the end because I felt like the white numbers didn't pop and I really wanted to do some purple glitter, but I didn't have purple glitter, so I went for black. And it's not perfect. You know, if you've ever done glitter over glue, it's globby. And yeah, I don't know, at that point, I was getting to the point in this project where I just wanted to be done and I wanted it to look decent enough for this video. So I don't know what you guys all think. And you can let me know in the comments below. And maybe you guys maybe want to try the challenge too. Or honestly, just get whatever paints, paper you've got and just, you know, go for it. Just be creative, whatever it is that you do, whether it's sewing, cooking, art, pottery, dance, music. You know, I feel like there's art in everything, pretty much. You have to be creative in your life, and it doesn't necessarily have to be the painting.
All right, folks, so here it is on my desk. I cleared some space and you can kind of see the final result here. I actually, you know, not too bad. There's a few things I would have done differently, like I said in the video, but overall, I love the colors. I like, you know, parts of it, some of it not so much, but I really had fun. I loved that it stretched my imagination and thought process. So yeah, it was good for me to do something. Sorry, I'm shaking. I'm moving the tripod thing. Sorry, guys. No, I really love that it stretched my creativity. So I just thought I'd give you kind of an interesting perspective here. Let's see if I can, if you can see it better. And maybe I can zoom in a little bit. You can see that middle part. I added a number 17. Like I said in the video earlier, I did 17, number 17. So now let's get ready to draw the next card. I can't wait to see what it is. And I promise you the video won't, I don't know. I always think my videos are getting better. I did order a new tripod for my phone, so hopefully that'll help with the videos going forward. So hang on, guys. Let's draw another card, and thanks for sticking with me if you've lasted this long in the video. I'll be right back. The thing is, I printed this on thin cardstock, so these are kind of All right, so here we go, guys. Do you like my little crocheted background? I started a blanket and I love the colors, but I haven't finished it yet because, you know, I like to do too many things at once. So anyway, let's draw the next one. I'm sure it'll be great. I can't wait to see what it is. And again, thanks for sticking with me on my videos aren't the best and most prettiestly formatted, but all right. So the thing is, I printed this on thin cardstock, so these are kind of hard to shuffle. Let's see. Anyway, it's fine. Let's cut the deck. Maybe move this over a little bit. There we go. Okay. There we go. We'll do this. Now, I haven't played cards in forever. Okay. So what do we do? Cut it, cut it. Here we go. Here it is. Aha. We don't make mistakes, just happy little accidents. Bob Ross. Oh my gosh, when I was younger, I used to love watching him on Saturdays. Ooh, find a project you started and abandoned because you thought you made a mistake. Think about what you can do to make it more appealing to you and then do it. Who knows? It might end up being one of your favorite pieces. Oh boy, I got lots of those. But let's see what happens, and I will see you in the next video. I hope you join me with this wonderful and awesome collaboration. And I'll see you in the next one, guys. Have a wonderful day. I love you all, and thanks for sticking with me through this video. Talk to you soon. Bye.